Thank you, Mr. Lauro. We now recognize Chairman Amodei.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Yeah, I've been told that tax collections over the last year, couple years, are at record levels. Do I have accurate information, or what can you tell me about collections in general over the last couple of tax seasons?
Well, I'd say that the size of the tax base has grown. So we're seeing the population grow and there's more taxpayers. So just in the general rhythm of collecting taxes, the receipts can ebb and flow. But as the population grows and as the economy grows, we can see higher overall receipts and higher overall collections. But it's the audits that haven't grown in the way they should. And that's why in my testimony, I outlined plans to increase the audit rates.
I get
Or-
that,
yeah,
but is the answer to my question, are dollars up the last couple cycles?
I would have to double check, but I do believe overall receipts are increasing as the population grows and as the economy grows.
And if I heard you right, part of a function of that, in your view, is birth rates. Because what, more people are attaining adult status and filing, or not that
Well,
you necessarily have to
over
be
the
an adult?
2010s, we saw a 7% increase in the number of tax filers. So just to give you a kind of a rough benchmark, in the 10 years between 2010 and roughly 2020, about a 7% growth in filings.
But what do we attribute that to?
Population growth.
Okay. Also, we've heard talk about technology and funding for technology and stuff like that. Can you kind of briefly tell us what those technology advances have done, if anything,
Yeah.
to affect the workforce that you need to prosecute your core missions?
Oh, absolutely. When I was answering Congresswoman DeLauro, I left out the importance of not just our phone lines and our walk-in centers, but our digital solutions. And we have an emerging generation of taxpayers that are used to doing everything from their smartphone and tablets, and we need to get there. So one of the things that has happened in the last few years is we've made dramatic increases to our digital solutions. You can now get an individual online account, a business online account. Their functionalities in those accounts are increasing so that more and more, you don't have to walk in, you don't have to call us, but if you have business with the IRS, you can do it from your smartphone or your tablet or your laptop. We've made more changes to irs.gov in the last 2 years than in the previous 20 years combined, and that's but we have a lot more to do. Because the gap between, for example, your favorite online bank and what they can do and what we can do is significant. And we plan to use the Inflation Reduction Act funds to close the gap so that your children and grandchildren are operating in a world where they never have to call or walk into an IRS center.
So connect the dots for me, if you will, in whatever context is appropriate. The technology advances have affected what it costs us to operate the company. How? Have we gotten any efficiencies and cost reductions in operating the company from the technology, or?
Absolutely have. Yeah, we absolutely have seen efficiency. Every time we move a form from paper to digital, we've seen a lot more digital upload of documents. We're up to the point now where 94% of Americans can send stuff to us electronically rather than have to use paper. The reduction of paper reduces costs. The issue is that the tax system grows at a faster rate than we can drive efficiency. And I'll give you a good example of that. The Congress passed a law requiring the IRS to build a new technology to do information reporting for digital currency. So there's a whole new program out there because of digital currency that we now have to create new infrastructure. So we have a new cost because we have to build a new system because there's new currencies. That system has to be both built and maintained. So even though we may be driving efficiencies in these legacy systems that are in place, making them more efficient, when Congress changes the code and adds new requirements, our overall resource base grows.
Last question. Some members have referred to, with specific numbers, corporations. X number of corporations pay whatever, X number. Can you tell me what, if anything, you're doing, if it's finite, what are you doing to prioritize going and getting those 55 or whatever with your existing assets. I would assume that if that information's out there and they're not paying their fair share, that you've got a top 10 list or something where it's like, we're going after A, B, C, and D because they're at the top of the list.
We absolutely do. In fact, we have a top 1,600 list, 1,600 millionaires and billionaires that owe back taxes. We have 125.
So are they, tell me.
Yeah, we're
real
collecting
briefly.
from them. They've heard from us. We're starting, we've collected 500 million so far and more to go. We've sent letters to 125,000 wealthy individuals who haven't filed since 2017, and they're hearing from us. We've
Is
launched
that data available from you? Is that public information?
public information.
Good. Thank you. My time has expired, so I yield back.